We'll be doing very, very basic core activation drills where we might do leg drops after activating TA, and we'll use palpitation to feel that transverse abdominis. I start flat on the back first of all because it seems to be easier to focus on core activation. Then I will progress to kneeling core activation drills. We can do opposite arm and leg lifts. We can do bear crawling, things like that, and then from there I will progress to single leg movements, like getting you up off the ground, any side step up, any single leg deadlifts, any single leg squats, anything where we remove stability is going to progress the core and make it more challenging. And that's kind of like how I like to go. Then the progression from there is more heavy bilateral movements and things like what Rad's doing. You can do like Russian get-ups off the floor where we are holding a weight and we climb up off the floor, all sorts of different stuff. But anything where it's a unilateral load, so the body has to stabilize itself, is going to work. And I'm a really big fan of anti-rotation movements for core. So Palloff press, half kneeling Palloff press, standing Palloff press, windmills, things like that.
The thing really important to think about there is that Yanni was getting to is that all of it is about having your end goal in mind. So if you're going back to play soccer or maybe like triathlons or something like that, you might be looking at something slightly different to what someone who is doing just hardcore gymnastics is doing. So the way that the exercise that Rad was explaining at the beginning, that's going to be such a good start to going towards something like that kind of more end range gymnastics exercise, which I know a lot of you are really looking to do. But yeah, when you're looking at that more sort of single leg stability, that's much more sort of your running relevant, like your sports relevant movements. So I think having that end goal in mind is the most important thing to think about when you're deciding on your exercise progressions. So sure. And the other thing to think about as well is with Rad, what he was showing there was a really great exercise for sort of those global muscles of spinal flexion. And so with just like when you're doing any pushing or pressing exercises upper body, you probably also want to be training your pulling muscles. So yeah, I guess like with your training, you guys also do you'll have an example of an extension movement as well. Now this has got an arch that we were just talking about is maybe not ideal for when you're lifting heavy with that end rate arch, but it's a really good way of strengthening those muscles in a,
we also do the side dish as well.
Exactly, so you're really...
From all different angles, so
yeah.
Around like that.
So you'll see, yeah, with the unified movement system that it really is that sort of 360 degree sort of like global strength of the trunk, which is so important.
Yeah.
And all of those progress to an end range. So that's going to be, the final movement, which might be a front lever or a side lever. Like all of those are kind of just progressions of these basic exercises.